Well, today we're talking about the north end of Virginia Beach, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name's Sam Sansalone, and I'm a real estate agent in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and I talk about all things real estate and Hampton Roads related. And today we're talking about a neighborhood in Virginia Beach called North End, which is actually the north end of the ocean front. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's a whole other lifestyle and way of living up on the north side of the ocean front. So what we're gonna do is talk all about North End. Where is North End? You'll see it about the 42nd Street and Atlantic Avenue intersection. That's where the North End generally begins, and it goes all the way up to the very top of Virginia Beach. As you can see on the map, on the far east side of Virginia Beach, there's land, but there's a lot of water that protects the northeast side of Virginia Beach to the rest of the area. So you've got to drive around those bodies of water to get to the other parts of town. Just doing that can take an extra 10 minutes of time beyond what it might take just to get to the ocean front. Now, neighborhoods in the North End, well, there aren't too many because there just isn't a lot of land in there, but the ones that are there are really valuable. For instance, Princess Anne Hills, North Lincoln Park, and of course, the North End itself is its own neighborhood. Those east to west horizontal streets up on the far eastern shore of the ocean front. But if you look on the bottom left-hand side of that whole section of the North End, you've got a whole area that jets out to the west. That's really considered Lincoln Park. In addition to that, there is a condominium development called Oceans Condominiums that is also on the south side of the North End, which is going to gets a little bit confusing. It leads me to how much does it cost to live in this area? Well, the condominiums start in the low 300s, maybe upper 200s, but the condo fees are around that $600 a month mark. Once you get into the single family homes, you're not even going to get in unless you start in the 550 or and up range. And then the rest though are 600, 700, and then when you get close enough to the beach, walking distance of a block or so, you're talking $700, $800 bare minimum, and then going up from there, $1 million, $2, $3, $4 million and up. Most of these homes, as you can see, they're all very unique. They're all very different sizes. They're all often close together because you're not working with a whole lot of land, but most of them are over that 2,000 square feet. You've got a lot of homes built in older time periods and a lot of random homes. Like every house is different, which is part of the charm of the North End. But then once you go further back into that Lincoln Park area, that's where you get more property. Like the homes you see there, they're awesome, but they also have land. And I say land, I mean like, half an acre or more sometimes, or sometimes even just like a third of an acre, but you have more than what you get at the beach. But look at those houses. I mean, they're a lot of them are brick ranches. They've been built in decades ago, but they hold their own. They're really well built. They have awesome views and quick access to things near the beach and on the beach. So these are some of the premier locations and homes in the entire area of Virginia Beach. All right, now school district. What kind of school districts do we have? Well, Cox High School, one of the top, I'd say 15 or 20% in terms of niche.com's rankings of high schools is Cox High School. And so they've got an awesome sports program. They won a lot of state championships, as you can see on their sign. Very proud of it. It was originated in 1961. And so there are a couple of notable graduates, one of which is Felicia Barton, an American Idol finalist. If you're a baseball fan, Chris Taylor, who was a star for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series a couple years ago, he graduated from Cox too. And you've got Lincoln Park for elementary school and Virginia Beach Middle for middle school. And those are also ranked in the top quarter or a third of schools in the area according to niche.com. Now shopping, okay, not a lot of shopping at the North End because again, a lot of residential areas, but you're close to Great Neck, North Great Neck, which is almost to Chicks Beach. So for grocery stores, there's a Food Lion on the north side of Virginia Beach in Great Neck, and on the south side in the oceanfront area where the touristy spots are, there's a Harris Teeter. In terms of other shopping, there isn't a whole lot in the North End because it's all residential for the most part. So your quickest spots are going to be Great Neck, which has some strip malls, and down in the south side of the ocean front, it takes you to Laskin Road where Hilltop is. That's say if you're going to be shopping anywhere, Hilltop is going to be your best bet, and you're about 10 to 15 minutes from that. Now a little bit of history about the North End. Well, I'd say most of the history really in the entire area derives right from the north side of the North End, which is First Landing State Park. Well, it used to be called Seashore State Park, but it got renamed to First Landing because it represents the landing of Christopher Newport and the settlers before they moved to Jamestown and made the first settlement in 1607. This is where they landed, and there's actually a cross that was put on that park in 1935 to commemorate this land. And now it's a protected area where you can enjoy hiking and some canoeing. Another notable house in the North End is actually a Frank Lloyd Wright house, considered by many the greatest architect of all time. He built a house on the water in the North End, and it actually went for sale in 2016. It's one of 3 that he built in Virginia. It's on 51st Street, and now it's called the Andrew B. Cook House. Another thing about the history of the North End, I want to mention the North End Village Facebook group. So if you want to see some pictures of old areas in Virginia Beach and on the North End, this is really cool. And you can just kind of scroll through and see, like, I mean, pictures from decades ago, 30s and 40s. So you can see how the whole neighborhood has developed and changed over the years, including the oceanfront too. Now, things to do. Well, if you go to the North End, good chance you'll like the beach. So number one thing to do is the ocean. The oceanfront's right there. You're within steps of the beach most times, and you can enjoy the beach without too many other people around. So if you want quiet and you want the beach, done. Now that whole street where Atlantic Avenue goes up to the top of Virginia Beach, there are a lot of streets that jet out to the ocean. Those are all residential neighborhoods. Most of those cul-de-sacs at the oceanfront have direct access to the beach, so you can walk from that street over a small little bridge onto the beach and experience the oceanfront with basically almost nobody around. We got the Princess Anne Country Club, and one of my sneaky favorites is if you go to 43rd Street, across 43rd and Atlantic Avenue, the neighborhood on 43rd Street competes with each other for best Christmas lights at Christmas time. The whole street lights up, every neighbor is involved. It's a lot of fun. It's worth taking a drive even across the city just to see this neighborhood and this street. It's something I make a big focus on at Christmas time. I do a big map showing where Christmas lights are in Hampton Roads. I did a video about it too, so you can see more about that. And of course, right down south of the North End, you've got the oceanfront itself, where all the tourist stuff is. Then you got the boardwalk too, the pier, lots of restaurants, a lot of stuff down in the oceanfront. Of course, that's where a lot of people come for their destination, for their vacation. So you're only blocks away. Restaurants. Okay, well, you think the oceanfront is all about restaurants. Well, what about the North End? Well, very few restaurants because they're all at the oceanfront. Most of this area is residential. So you'll find yourself going around the top of Virginia Beach towards Great Neck, and you get, like I said in the Virginia Beach pros and cons video I did, I talked about the Carib Shack as being one of my favorite restaurants in the entire Hampton Roads area. That's around in the Great Neck area too. And over there too is the Beer Garden, the second branch of the famous Beer Garden in Portsmouth that I put in my pros and cons video of Portsmouth. See a theme here? And then a lot of the other restaurants I like are on the oceanfront. Waterman's, you've got Il Giardino, which is an Italian restaurant that's down there. Plenty of others like Catch 31, and if you go a couple blocks in, you've got Beach Bully. Commune is down there too, a great farm-to-table restaurant. Terrapin, and another one I have not tried yet, but I want to try is the Green, what is it? Green something. The Green Cat, basically like a juice bar, I think, and probably some food in there too. I really don't know much about it, but it looks interesting. It's right there across from the Princess Anne Country Club. Worth a try. Hey, you never know what you find at these new restaurants. If you work at the Green Cat or you own the Green Cat and you see this video, please invite me over there. I'd like to try your juice. And some other things around the North End that are worth mentioning too. The Cavalier Hotel, which is a very historic hotel, just got rebuilt recently in the last several years. Millions of dollars of renovations. One of the premier hotels now in the entire Hampton Roads area. It overlooks the ocean front. You can see it's just a big, massive building. And there's a new restaurant inside, and that's called Becca. So if you haven't been to Becca yet, I have not been, but I've heard it's amazing. It's the Museum of Contemporary Art, which is a few blocks from the beach on 22nd Street. And then you've got places like the Virginia Aquarium, used to be called the Virginia Marine Science Museum, down past the oceanfront on the south side of the beach. And near that is Ocean Breeze. So you've got a lot of tourism all around the North End. If you want to stick to the North End, you're going to enjoy quiet, you're going to enjoy the beach. And again, all the information I give about this stuff in North End, I'm going to put in links below in the description. If you love my videos, please click subscribe and then hit the bell next to it so you can be notified. Now, school districts. What school districts do we have here? It's just a district. Because the oceanfront is all about tourism.